Hey everybody, this is Brandon from Sparksmith helping you see and be seen. Today we are working on some headlights from a 2006 Ford F-250. Now, what the customer brought in was I actually built these set lights, did this retrofit back in 2019, so it's been about 4 years. And as you can see, the lenses that came in on them have not aged well, so it happens a lot of times on some of these aftermarket headlights. He had a donor set of lights that we are going to pull the lenses off and swap them onto here. Obviously swap the painted bezels over and all that. But the one thing that I wanted to check out was his HID system has started to fail and have intermittent issues, as HID systems do as they grow older. And I was going to try out our Brightest H1 bulb that we have and tested in one headlight versus a brand new HID kit, and just kind of see which one looks better, which one has more measured brightness, and kind of see how they stack up. But one thing I do have to do in order to make this fit, because this part is bigger than an HID bulb, I do have to clearance out the inside of this so we can actually get the bulb to slide in there. So there's a couple of ways to do it. I've just got a grinding bit on a drill, and the projector is aluminum, so it's going to shave pretty easily. We've got both headlights here with the lenses removed, and we're going to do a quick comparison to see which works better, the LED bulbs or the HID system. Now what I've got here is a standard 35 watt H1 HID kit, and the bulbs are 6000 K color temperature. So if you wanted maximum light output, you could go with a 5500 or a 4300, which is what NHK offers in their bulbs, because when you get closer to 4300, that's actually the maximum brightness that you can get from an HID bulb. You could also go with a higher wattage ballast, but you also got to consider like what kind of color of light you want to have coming out of the headlight, and a lot of this just comes down to personal preference. So like I kind of like that 6000 K, slightly cool white kind of color. Some people prefer the warmer end of the spectrum, and that's totally fine. But I'm going to compare it this way just to kind of give us a baseline. This isn't the end-all be-all of output tests, just kind of a yay or nay on which one works better for a certain application. So I'm going to get this HID kit set up, and then we'll try them both out and see what they look like. Okay, I've got the HID kit set up in this passenger side headlight and LED in the driver's side. And just at first glance, when you look at them, like the LED bulb's a little bit more blue. So a lot of this again comes down to what your preference is in terms of the color of the output. But if you take a look at the screen, you can see I'll stand in front of, so that's the LED, and then that's the HID. And so they're very different in both the way they put the light out, and obviously the color's a little bit more blue on this left-hand side. But you can see with the LED, it's more of, like, it looks like more of a smooth output, like it's more consistent. But with the HID, what you're getting is a really bright hot spot right in the middle, and then it seems like a little less light dispersed around the edges. Now that's normal for just the way that these bulbs work. What we'll do is we'll take some measurements at the hot spot of each one separately and just kind of see what the numbers say in terms of how much lux you're getting at the screen, which is about 20 feet away. So we'll try that and see what we get. Okay, so the HID bulb is reading just shy of 1200 lux. And the important thing to remember about when we're taking these readings is this is just really a relative comparison of one light source to another. So we're just going to see, like, this number by itself is not all that meaningful, but we'll see what the LED bulb reads, and that'll give us a point of comparison between the two. So you can see the LED bulb is a little bit less than that. It's around just over 800 lux. At right here, actually we're at like 730, where the brightest point was from the HID bulb. If we pull it down, you can see the hot spot with the LED bulb is actually closer to here, where you get almost 850. So even at the brightest point here, not quite as bright as the LED bulb, or sorry, the HID bulb, but you do have that difference in kind of the uniformity of the light output. So let me turn the HID on one more time and we'll take one last look. And, I'll just talk. Okay, so taking one last look at the two, you see HID has that really nice intense hot spot right in the middle, and what that's going to do is push more light further down the road. Now with LED, you've got a less intense hot spot, but kind of more uniform distribution of light. So you're going to have a lot more foreground with the LED and a lot more distance with the HID. And so really it just kind of depends on what your priority is, what your driving styles are, where you drive, stuff like that. If you have a lot of really dark rural roads, I think that the HID is going to be the better bet, because you're going to get more range out of your headlights. If you're more urban driving, then something like the LED is going to make a lot more sense for you. So a lot of it comes down to personal preference. I'm going to see what the owner of this truck wants to do with his headlights. Obviously we can do either one. You gotta also always consider like cost and complexity of the system, things like that. Take all that into account when making your final decision. If you have any questions whatsoever about what you think is right for yours, please head over to sparksmith.com and give us an email, and we're happy to answer any questions you have. Thanks.